YOLO, my fellow human beings, and welcome to episode 47 of The Best Blessed Life. I'm your best host, Kristen, and today's topic is, I really need some oomph today. Before we get started, I want to thank you all for watching. Please continue to watch, comment, share, like, subscribe, ring the bell, and please pass them on to anyone you think that they could help. With that being said, our positive word of the day today, I'm going to wait for a split second because I want to go over all the positive words that I've come up with so far. So we're kind of reiterating the challenges that I talked about last week, because when I initially started the show, we were doing a positive word of the day for each episode, but now we're going to do one for each day of the year, hence the bank or just a glass jar. And I'm going to go through them all with you because I had to add to them because I don't see you every day. So I want to go over the ones that I came up with when I don't see you. But I'm going to touch base on the other ones that I've done. The other thing I want to remind you of is that I did start the new year 2 weeks ago, and it was on Labor Day weekend. And if you haven't checked it out yet, it needs a little love. I don't think anybody expected me to put out an episode on the holiday weekend. So make sure you check out 45, 46, 47. Check them all out. Anyway, so the Positivity Bank at the end of the year, our year, the Best Blessed Life year, will become hopefully a positive word of the day calendar. So we're going to start with September 3rd, which was the first episode of the new year. And the word was redirection. I'm not going to show them to you because I wrote them in pencil and you can't really see, but I'm going to read them. The action of assigning or directing something to a new or different place or purpose. My shoe's stuck. Stuck on the bar stool. Okay. For the 4th of September, it's accomplished. Highly trained or skilled. For the 5th, I chose beaming, which means shine bright. Must have been having a bad day that day, huh? For the 6th, I chose creativity, the use of the imagination or original ideas, especially in the production of an artistic work. I've been trying to pick words that don't pertain to physical, skills, but more emotional or motivating words, if that makes sense. Okay, for the 7th, I chose clarity, the quality of transparency or purity. For the 8th, I chose encourage, which means give support, confidence, or hope to. For the 9th, I chose focus, the state or quality of having or producing clear visual definition. For the 10th, which was last week's episode, the word was ambition, and it means desire and determination to achieve success. For the 11th, I chose fitness, the condition of being physically fit and healthy. For the 12th, I chose genuine, truly what something is said to be, authentic. For the 13th, I chose impassioned, which means filled with or showing great emotion. For the 14th, I chose kindred, which means similar in kind, related. For the 15th, I chose limitless, without end, limit, or boundary. For the 16th, which was yesterday, I chose meaningful, having a serious, important, or useful quality or purpose. And for the 17th, it's oomph, which I thought meant, like I said, you need to give, I need a little energy, a little push, a little shove in the right direction. But when I look it up, it means the quality of having personal charm or magnetism. Maybe I need that too. Okay, the flies have come to visit again. All right, so that has got us all caught up on the Positivity Bank. So I'm going to put that off to the side. The next new challenge was the movement. And that was me talking to you about pushing yourself to move, even if it's the slightest amount. Taking the stairs opposed to taking the elevator or the escalator. Taking your car and parking it far away from where you need to walk so you can walk. It also means, doing things on the stairs at home, maybe running up and down the stairs at home if the weather's bad or it's just too hot outside, humid. Doing box jumps on your stairs, kind of, giving yourself that squat jump. I would demonstrate, but I don't have a cameraman. When the kids come back soon, hopefully, fingers crossed, I will be able to have them hold the camera while I demonstrate what I mean. But you know what a squat looks like. I will stand and you're going to put your feet hip distance apart, maybe wider if you want a bigger, I think I discussed this base with you. Like the narrower the base, the less stability you have. So the further apart your legs are, the more you're going to feel secure in whatever movement you do. So if you wanted to do like that and jump, the object is to jump up onto the stair and back. The other thing is, if you have a stability ball, doing any sort of sitting on there as opposed to sitting on a flat, hard surface or even a cushioned surface, because it'll give you that workout of your core that you're looking for, because you're used to sitting on something hard. Your body automatically just kind of eventually conforms to being tired of sitting up straight. When you're sitting on the ball, your core is immediately engaged because you're sitting on a rounded surface or an unstable surface, and you have to work your core in order to not fall off. So if you want to make that happen on a regular chair, the logic is to scooch to the edge, any kind of chair really, just not a cushioned like a couch or anything, and pick your feet up off the floor and allow your core to just keep your legs from touching the floor. It also helps you because you automatically, the minute you take your feet off the floor, you automatically sit back, and your shoulders go up a little bit. They're not quite in the proper position for good posture, but the edge of the chair is always better. It helps you to straighten out your back a little bit, helps you to stretch out your back a little bit. The other thing that helps is if you have a computer chair that you sit on for work, the benefit of that, if it swivels, I guess is what I mean. Not the rolly computer, you might roll away, but the swivelly ones that spin, like my bar stool is right now. It's a good core workout to have yourself rotate back and forth on the chair. With your feet off the floor, please. That's what I was doing. I know you can't tell. But yeah. So it works your core, helps you to work more of the obliques, which are your side abs. And you can do stretches on chairs. That is always helpful. When you're sitting on hard surfaces for long periods of time, your body gets in this shape. So your hip flexors tend to get stiff and stuck in this position. And then in order for your body to compensate for how tight your hip flexors are, your glutes kind of have to relax a little bit in order to conform to sitting in that position for long periods of time. So getting up and stretching, walking around, not sitting in that position for more than, I would say, I want to say half an hour, but I know people can't get up every half an hour at work and walk around and do things. So at least every hour. Maybe if you can't get up and walk around, maybe at least stand up next to your chair, put your feet up on the chair and stretch out your legs. Getting that inner thigh stretched out is important. Making sure your hamstrings stay loose. That's always helpful. Oh, that feels so good. Then grabbing your toe and stretching and pulling the back of that leg to feel the stretch all the way up to your glutes. You'll feel it. And then maybe turning your foot so it's laying with the arch on the chair so that you can drop the leg down and stretch the inner thigh that way. That was really good. I liked that. I'm going to do that on the other side. So you plop your foot up this way with your toes pointing up first and lean in. And then grab the toe. Oh, that's so nice. That stretches out so much. Even from just sitting for that little bit of time, I get really sore. Grabbing that toe, even if you can't pull back on it, reaching towards it helps to stretch out the back part of your leg. And then you're going to take your foot from the toes sticking up to turning it on its side and then dropping the leg down, and you can stretch the inner thigh that way. Any kind of movement you can do. Walk around your chair. Push your chair around. I'm just kidding. But yeah, your best bet is to keep moving. Make an excuse to get up. Oh, I'm super thirsty. Oh, I have to go to the bathroom, even if you don't. Oh, I need to go wash my face, even if you don't. I don't know. Make up something. And then for the stairs, let me get back to the stairs for a second. Because you can also do, excuse me, where you're just running up and down the stairs, or taking them two at a time, so you're really kind of elongating their step going up and down. So stairs are always a great kind of cardio. If you kind of have a circular house, not circular house, but your house that can go in a circle, and you're like my son who likes to pace around when he's thinking, so he just would, like every day, I felt like he would just walk around in circles, talking to people. It was fun. Until he'd like, stop, you're making me dizzy. Like I said, making sure you park your car in the furthest parking spot. So you have to walk to the store. I know it's something super simple, but it also gets you your goals, your step goals. I mean, I know I talk about the pedometer, and I used to go over the steps with everybody, and my watch hasn't been working, and my new phone that I just got doesn't have the pedometer on it yet, so I have to get that up there, and I got to get my watch on it to start recording my steps again. But it is important to see that productiveness, to know that you're accomplishing something, because the movement is not going to count if you can't measure it. And I don't want you tallying things. I don't mean measure it that way. I mean I want you to measure how long you're doing it for, even if you're not keeping track of how many steps. If you keep track of time, half an hour at a decent pace is usually around 3 to 5 miles, depending on like how quick your pace is. Like the faster you are, obviously you're going to get further. And then stretching, you guys. I cannot stress to you enough how important it is to stretch and to take a good physical. I know I took that off the challenge, but I think the evaluate and stretch, just keeping track of how your body is reacting to certain things, notating how your body reacts when you eat in certain foods, when you try different things. Say, for example, you're a person that showers in the morning, and you've decided you don't have time to do that anymore, so now you're showering at night, but you're noticing some residual effects from that happening. Those kinds of things. I know that's kind of a silly example, but everybody doesn't pay attention to what's going on with their system. You're the only one that knows everything that's going on inside. And even you don't even know all of that stuff. That's what we go to the doctor for, why we get blood tests. I got a blood test. Look at my arm. And it didn't even hurt. I don't know why it bruised that bad. It never does that. But anyway, so to check out all the other systems, you have to check the blood, and you have to check the urine and all of those other things. But you yourself can evaluate how you feel after certain foods, after certain things that you do outside. Maybe you're finding out now as you're getting older, which I'm finding out now as I'm getting older, that I'm having environmental allergies. And I know that fall and spring, when things are blooming and obviously dying, I'm noticing the phlegmy cough, and it happens every year at the same time. And I would say probably in the last, I don't know, 5-6 years. I get really itchy eyes and crusty eyes. So your body is constantly changing. Even if you don't want to, it still is going to. It's still getting older, whether you want it to or not. You have no control over that. So the only control that you have to take is to give your body the best of everything, if you can. Nutrients and things like that, and exercise, and just sleep and water. Those are all important key things. And the most important thing is sleep and water. You can live for a long time without food. Well, not a long time, but a good amount of time without food. But you can't live a long time without sleep or water. So if you are not evaluating how you're feeling, there's no way you can be telling someone else how you're feeling. So I want you to go through a little bit of a checklist, and maybe this will help you to understand things should not necessarily be hurting. You should, check your bowel movements. They shouldn't be, I don't want to get too descriptive, but they shouldn't be too loose, too hard, things of that nature. I know this all seems kind of silly, but it's also something that you can do in the third challenge, which is your alone time. It is the time for you to take stock of everything you are experiencing. In alone time, there is no other time for you to go, I never noticed that before. Like, you'll hear things that you don't normally hear when other people are home. Houses are usually louder when other people are here. When you're alone, it's very quiet for the most part. There is this evaluation of yourself that can happen only when you're alone. So the thoughts in your head you can only truly listen to. Now you can hear them, but you can only truly listen to them when you are alone. And I don't mean alone as in lonely. And there's a difference. And I think people get scared by the term alone time. It's not supposed to be scary. It's not supposed to be something where you go, I don't want to sit there and just think about sad, bad, mad, whatever. But it is a way for you to say to yourself, that's not really what I'm mad, bad, sad, glad about. And so taking that time to either notate it or at least talk to yourself out loud. Yes, I know. Y'all are thinking I'm a little bit insane right now. Can help you judge just how much of yourself is being allowed to go out there in the world. So if you're an introvert, and I'm one of those introverts that is extroverted, and I don't know if that makes any sense to a lot of people. I'm only extroverted or introverted if the situation is more of an observational situation, or if it's more a verbal situation. And I don't know if you remember last year I put out an episode where I said I was sick of talking, sick of explaining. because I don't think the world needs to be filled up with a lot of words. Like, I think there could be so many things said without actually saying them. I feel as though the alone time can be a time for you to think about family members, think about time frames, think about goals. If you notice, I'm just sitting here talking to you this week. I'm not making anything, because part of the fact that I said I needed oomph today was to say I'm just kind of burnt out. I'm just kind of trying to figure out where the next direction is. The recipe is coming along. It still has some major, not major. Every step gets me closer to the right thing. But until I evaluate or reevaluate things in my alone time, I don't really know where I'm supposed to be headed. And I don't want to keep going through the motions when I don't know where I'm going next. So that was one of the reasons why I was taking a break as far as making something this week. I'm not defeated still. I know it looks like I am. It's just because I'm tired and I'm trying to keep my eyes open. But I'm not. I'm really not. I'm flummoxed. What am I? I am perplexed. I like that word. I'm perplexed. I'm a little bit, I don't know what I want to say I am. I definitely feel like there has been some good things happening. I do feel like that my goal isn't out of reach, or I keep hearing something over there. Out of reach or unattainable or impossible to figure out. But you don't learn until I don't learn. I'm going to say me. I don't learn until I put my hands to it. And I've been like that for a while. And a lot of times it was confusing to me that I needed to be doing something else in order to think. And my son is the same way. And he used to play with Legos, like snap them, which can get annoying to some people. But it was something to do to... That's why I think he walked and paced in circles as well. I'm sure he still does, except that his apartment is very small and there's not really anywhere. I think he was pacing outside the last time I talked to him. Anyway, his thought process happened when he made those pacings around the kitchen, if you will. He'd go around the island, come back around. And I'm very similar in that I play with my hair. I play with my hands. My tactile things are attached to me, apparently. But I noticed that it is something that helps me focus or hone in on what is missing or what needs to change. And a lot of times it has to do with just something simple. I mean, I realize I'm talking about a recipe, but this is also true of life and why the alone time is such a key challenge. I have never been afraid to spend time alone because I liked the fact that behind my bedroom door was my sanctuary, and I didn't have to explain myself to anyone. And I think that's why I find the alone time so, I don't know, rewarding? I know that's weird to say. But it is. It's this challenge of going, the silence does not scare me. The loudness of the silence does not bother me. I like the quiet, the calm, the sound of nature as opposed to fire trucks and garbage trucks and car alarms and that kind of thing. So to me, the alone time wasn't so much of a challenge as the challenge of what happens during the alone time, which is where you have to sit and listen to yourself. And to a lot of people that can be intimidating. Some people think that you might think you're crazy if you talk to yourself. But who's going to give you the best answer? I mean, hello. And I sometimes feel like those answers are being funneled from somewhere because we're all headed in a direction. And based on what happens in our lives, and what seems to be disappointments should be considered redirections. Like my son did not get the full-time job. But I said, you know what, that's okay. Because I don't think that job was meant for you. And to be honest, I don't think you need the full-time job if you keep the part-time jobs coming, obviously. I really think that the letdown was that he wanted them to want him even though he didn't want them. Does that make any sense? So in actuality, he just wanted to be told it was okay to not want that job even though he wants a job. Does that make sense? It wasn't the right job for him. And if it's not the right job and you're going to be miserable, you're not going to want to go. And the torture begins. Trust me, I know. He didn't go to college to take the and it wasn't quite what he wanted. It was more carpentry. I mean, they were willing to work with him, but I don't know that that's he would be happy in the same place every day. Like, I mean, I realized at school he was at the same theater for 4 years, and at high school he was at the same theater for 4 years. But I think this is the time to find the variety and allow yourself to experience some different types of theater work. And you're a lighting guy, and that's what you wanted to do, and that is what you have put your creativity into. And believe me, I see it. So don't detour. If it's a little scary, I understand. It is a little scary. But you had a goal. Don't change the goal now just because 4 months after graduating. Wait. Yeah, not even 4 months after graduating, you've been working. So, and working at things you wanted to do. So I didn't want him to panic yet. And he shouldn't. And he said, I'm not, Mom. And I said, okay. But, so yeah, the challenge is to not panic. And in that alone time, I mean, discussing it out loud with me, he said, yeah, I don't think I want it. I don't want to that's not what my job or what I went to school for. And I said, well, I don't think you should settle yet. You're working, you're being able to provide for yourself. So don't jump the gun because the first full-time job that came along, you weren't quite the right fit. So, but the panic button gets hit when you automatically know, oh, they didn't want me, so now, oh my gosh, I really wanted that job now. You still don't want it. Does this make any sense? I feel like I'm talking to, I don't know. Anyway, the alone time helps you solidify a lot of decisions in your life. Some people use the pros and cons paper, list them. But sometimes you just have to listen to the sound of your own voice. The sound of your reasoning, you knowing you better than hopefully most people, can reason out things with yourself that you can't necessarily reason out with someone else. And to not influence you one direction or the other, but just to be a sounding board. Sometimes parentals, including myself, but I wanted to tell them that. I said, I didn't think that job was right for you, and frankly, I was kind of hoping you didn't get it. I know I didn't say it like that yesterday. What I said was more profound, but in actuality, it's true. I didn't want him going for it just because he felt that it would pay his bills. I think that's what I said. And while we were talking, he's like, all right, well, I've already applied for another job. So, I mean, the kid is not resting on his laurels at all. So I'm not panicking. And he will find the fit he's looking for. And he will get his name out there. That was the other reason. I said, if you just go from gig to gig, you will be able to spread your name out there a little bit more than staying in one place and having, because that's what his career is, word of mouth. This lighting designer is really good. His name is Jordan, blah, blah, blah. So in order to put himself out there even more, he has to kind of live on the edge a little bit, I guess. It is kind of exciting. It's kind of scary. But he's doing it and he's doing well. He's still got jobs. He's still got 2 part-time jobs and things coming up. So there's no panicking there. And of course, my daughter is just over the moon with her new major. She starts at a middle school. I think she said next week. She got her school badge. It says, they got to call me Miss Haas. It's got her it says Miss Haas on her badge. And she's going to be teaching 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, helping with the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade band. So I'm very excited for her, and I guess that has given me a little bit of oomph too. Wow. Anywho, I guess that's about it, you guys. I covered the challenges a little bit more in depth this time. I felt like I kind of just threw them out there last week, and I wanted to touch base with them a little better. So I want to do some fitness videos coming up. The kids are going to be, at least Peyton will be home for a break soon, and she can help me video some fitness videos and exercise videos to get some new and fresh ideas out there for you to do during the winter or cooler temperatures, or if you live where it's really hot, maybe you need to work out inside for that reason. So, all right, guys, I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else. I want to thank you all for watching. And I so appreciate all your support. Make sure you check out the last 2 episodes, 45 and 46. They need some love. And with that being said, I just want to tell you to go and have a good day. Go do great things. Be your best self. And please live your best blessed life. Thanks for watching. Bye.